Before 1947, black baseball players were barred from the major leagues. But baseball was the national pastime, and many young blacks enjoyed the game and were very good at it. Because of segregation, they were forced into creating their own organizations. Thus arose Black Diamonds. And the game they played was different from the majors. While white players tended to play by the book, Negro baseball was wild, free, open, and creative. It was also more fun, maybe because the life the black ball players led off the field was so difficult. This was a time in American history when a Negro traveling in the South could not take the necessities of life for granted. Still, many gems arose from Black Diamonds. The greatest home run hitter ever, Josh Gibson. The greatest base runner, Cool Papa Bell. And on a pedestal of his own, maybe the greatest baseball player of them all, black or white, Satchel Paige. For 20 years, Satchel was a star in the Negro Leagues, and then with integration he pitched the Cleveland Indians to a pennant in 1948. I caught up with him in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where he was helping young minor league players along. And I wanted to know if he really could have been as good as people say.
Steve, I can't tell you that. The only thing I can say about it is, you hear things, and the places where I go, it's like I just come out of Cooperstown about a week ago, and I was up there for an induction for some of the kids that's going in the Hall of Fame. And it feels good when you hear them say that, because you had a lot of men out there thought a lot of, like Bob Feller and Dizzy Dean and Lefty Grove and those people like that. And then I come along and they call me the best pitcher. You got to feel good over that. But for me to say I was the greatest pitcher, I couldn't tell you that.
You started playing in Negro ball way back.
Yeah, 1927. I started in Chattanooga, and I played there in 1927 and one part of 1928. And Birmingham bought me, and I went up with Birmingham. And I guess in the last 4 years after that, I guess I was sold about 5 times a different baseball club till I ended up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania with the Crawfords. And we organized that club in 1932 there. And I had been going around a lot barnstoning before I even ever got into any league that we had. We had 4 or 5 colored leagues ourselves. We had the Southern League and the National League and the Eastern League. And I was playing down around New Orleans and Birmingham and those places like that in Atlanta before they even ever found out who I was, I guess.
Now, I heard a story that when you started off, you had the terrific speed, but it wasn't until later that you got the control.
Yes, see, a man never learns speed. You're born with speed, see, but you can get the control if you're wild when you come up. But we had a lot of players when I come up, never did gain control. They could throw the ball hard, way harder than I could, for as that concerned. But they couldn't gain control to be a pitcher, and we had to still keep them in outfield. And we had some catchers was like that. You had third basemen like that. I'm going to tell you something. I don't know whether you know it or not, but we have some men in the infield can throw hard as pitcher, but we never could make no pitchers out of them, for as that concerned. And that's the way it go. It go just like that. A pitcher, when it comes to be a pitcher, you'll find out a pitcher, he mostly can't do nothing but pitch. He can't hit good. And every once in a while
you got a few hits along the way.
Well, 50 years, Steve. I should have got something in 50 years. I played 50 years, before I give up for that concern. I stayed out of baseball, around 10 and 14 years, and then go back in the majors. I'm the only one ever been in there 4 times. That's out in the spirit of sometime 10 and 15 years of going back in the majors, I guess.
Bill Veeck told us about how you used to be something of a batting coach with Cleveland after one day you got 2 hits in one game.
Yeah, yes. I'll never forget that. It never happened but one time. That was in Washington. And everybody like to fell out. The people in the stand and everybody else, all the ball players, they wanted to give up. They say this is my lucky day, and I beat that game. I did. I was kind of proud of that, too, if you want me to tell you the truth.
Is it true that you would drive a nail into a plank with pitches from the pitcher's mound?
Well, I could hit them. I could knock a ball off a bat at the pitcher's mound. We set the bat up on home plate and put a ball on top of it, and I could out of 3 or 4 or 5 throws, I'd knock that ball off the bat. I could throw pretty straight. I'm not bragging or nothing like that, which a whole lot of people have seen me play, and there's few living yet to say I'm the oldest man on earth for that concern. But you're going to find out it's a whole lot of people when you go back home have seen me play, and they're still living because I ain't been too long left from over there now for that concern. But it's such a thing as I practice all the time. I just practice control. Anything you practice, you begin to come good at it. I don't know, regardless of what it is, whether it's baseball or not. I think I got so good in baseball once, 3-2, the batter was in a hole, not me, because I could get the third pitch in there just as good as I wanted to.
And it would probably be a fastball because that was your pitch.
Yeah, well, here what you're going to find out, too, again, when you start to talking about me after you leave here. Everybody, they say, if you tell me what he going to throw, I can hit it. That's the biggest story I've ever been told. Because if you're looking for a fastball on your knees and not throw it at your belt as fast as I had one back in there, I tell you, I was doing around 90-some miles an hour with that ball there. And I can tell you that right now. And that's pretty fast, you know, from that little short distance up there.
Now, how about the story that you used to write fastball on the bottom of your left shoe so that when you put the foot up, and the pitch was going to come, the batter could see the word fastball.
Well, they had that going, but to tell you the truth, that's not true. That's not true, and I'm not going to tell you no stories because I'm going to have to meet up with a lot of people now where this is going to go at. I'm going to meet them. Don't worry about a thing. And it ain't like nobody can't speak English like I used to play over in Cuba, and I could say anything because it couldn't speak English, you know, and it got back over here. But over here, it's different. See, I got to tell the truth over here. But I tell you, but that's not true.
Satch, one of the things I say about you is that when you were traveling with your All-Stars, either you got good lodgings, good accommodations, or you didn't go. Now,
yes, that's right. Because see, we wasn't making much money, and my men had to play every day, and we wasn't eating the best on earth. You understand?
And you have problems, racial problems.
Yeah. Oh, we had too many racial problems. Racial problems so bad I don't want to even tell you about it. As far as that concerned, if we had money, we'd have to go in the back to eat out a paper sack or somewhere like that. But nevertheless, we overcome that, and it was rough. It was no maybe so. And when I would tell them I would come there, they'd have to find some place, you know, it wasn't staying in all hotels like you are now either.
Was this just the South or the North as well?
Well, some places in the North, too. It was a lot of them in the North, Washington and Baltimore and those places like that. It was just as bad as Mississippi or Georgia, any of those places down there for a colored man. There's no maybe so about it because I played baseball in both of them. I mean, all of them. And they'd have to get, most of the time, though, see, we had a lot of colored hotels. There wasn't no big ones like you have now, but we had a lot of colored hotels, and whoever would want us in that town, they would rent the best of the rooms for me and guarantee that they get the 2 meals a day and like that. Then I would come in there like that. But we got in bad several times like that, but not the most of the times we did not. We didn't get in trouble after they found out I wouldn't come down unless they had some good place to stay.
Did you find that all that traveling just made your body feel weak? Was it hard to play baseball after you travel all night in the bus?
If you want me to tell you the truth, we did it so much till it just come natural to us. We would ride sometime after we play like here tonight. We'd ride from here to St. Louis or from here to Chicago and play the next day. And I mean, we would beat the next day and not play the next day, and probably all we'd have would be a bologna sausage sandwich, a hot dog sandwich, or something like that, and a soda, and that was it. And stayed up all night, and then we'd play there. We might sleep 3 times out of a week, if you want me to tell you the truth. We don't travel in better than 1,500 or 1,600 miles. See, we carried the House of Davis too up in there. You don't remember, but. The House of Davis, we used to carry them up there a lot, and we'd come out.
Bearded white fellas.
Yeah, with the long hair way down the back. You ain't got the kids ain't got no hair now. They should have saw House of Davis. House of Davis had some hair and
but they're good ball players.
Oh, tops. There wasn't no maybe so about that. Now they had some whiskers. They had whiskers down to their belts, and there's no maybe so about that because I got some pictures I could show you. And we used to go up in there, and we'd draw pretty good, and we'd come out sometime through Seattle and around like that and make the round. You know how you make the round back through, Victoria and all up in there and come on back down to Lewiston, Idaho, Billings, Montana. town, and we'd make the whole circle up in that way all the time up there, and that's the only time we would do good with night sleeping up in there.
Did you ever feel in trouble? I mean, physically threatened, in danger because of the sheriffs and so on?
No, not me. I come out from down there. See, I was down there when I started playing ball. I was lucky enough to be good. I went to Chattanooga, and I got sold, just like I told you in front. And then I went east. I went around Chicago and New York, and I started playing out there and around Pittsburgh. And that was way back, and that helped out a lot about me being away from there, too, which is just like anybody say, if you're born down there, you know how to act, and there's no maybe so about that. And we did know how to act. A lot of them know how to act, but a lot of them got in trouble unnecessary, and there's a lot of them, they just forced in trouble down there, too, it's without a doubt.
Satch, Negro baseball really can be divided, I think, into two parts. On the one hand, the organized ball, the Negro American League, the Negro National League, the Eastern Colored League, and so on. On the other hand, barnstorming. Now, you did plenty of both. Which did you prefer?
Barnstorming. I really did, because we had a lot of fun back in that. Back when we was barnstorming, everybody got a chance to see us. That's one thing, and we had a lot of fun. But now it's no fun, and it's a business. Baseball is a business now. And I talks to the kids all the time, and they don't get no fun out of baseball. But we did. So
what did you do? What was fun?
Well, we could have a chance to go rifle shooting out around North Dakota, and we could play cards as long as we wanted to, and we could play softball. We could do pretty near anything we wanted to do when we was barnstorming. We could go and swim, but they can't do that now. Which they're paying them all that money. They're paying them that money now, and they got to do just what they say do now. Instead of them getting up the next morning to look at the sports sheet, they're looking at the Wall Street Journal, see, because they got a lot of stock. They make so much money. So we never did make up that much money, but we loved baseball back in the day. Let me cut it short. We loved it. Now it's a money game. Let's face it, it's a money game now.
Well, you told me that barnstorming is more fun. I thought you were going to talk about what they used to call clowning or funning, what the Indianapolis clowns used to do, and what you did a little bit.
Well, the Indianapolis clown, we had a club to do that. All right, the House of Davis would play Pepper, and then the clowns, they had a show, and a #1 show with Goose Tatum leading off here in King Tut. And we just had that show in the House of Davis. Then I would get with the House of Davis a lot of time and play Pepper. I don't know if you've seen them play that or not, but they can.
How does it look?
Well, it's really fun. You never will keep up with the ball, as far as that concerned. There's 3 men get in a row, and you can't keep up with the ball. It's all between the legs, over the head, and everywhere else there. We're gonna come back with that a little bit. You know, a lot of things we did back when we first come in, the big league said we was clowning, but I see they did a lot of things that we did back then. And when Bill Vick come in with the firecrackers and things, they couldn't see no sense in it when he's giving away orchids and everything. Now everybody's copying off him with the school board and everything else. You understand? It's just a time for them to do that, which they didn't know no better.
When you would call in the outfield, say, I will play only with an infield, that was a form of clowning, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I'll give you that. And we was drawing too, because if I got by with that, they would send to the next count, which I did get by with it every time, but I'd catch my man up there, catch my right-hand man. And you catch a right-hand man up there, and when my infield come in and start talking to me, and I still be pitching to the batter and strike him out, well, see, that'll get to the next town the next day. See, all our towns about 200 and 300 miles, and then we'd have bigger crowds, and that got all over. Hell, when I go somewhere, I'd have to do that. And hell, we started drawing like the devil out there, like that then. Out there. And that was really did. I used to do that. The outfielders come in too. Now for the right-hand man up, I'd pull my center fielder, my left fielder, and my shortstop, and my third baseman. They would come around the mountain and talk to me while I'd be pitching.
Satch, we heard a lot about the lighting system that the Monarchs used. Were you involved?
With the poles?
Yeah.
Yeah, we the first one invented that. We had those big engines like you see that pump water, and we had 4 big trucks. And we had our own lights, and we start those dynamos, and I guess these lights was about no more than 15 feet or 16 feet up. But you could see an infield. Well, the ball was hitting outfield. Shame on you. You couldn't see nobody. And why the people would come, to see that, but the infield was lit up good. We never could get in outfield, the lights high enough. We couldn't get a pole high enough. If we did, we couldn't carry it down the street. We didn't know about no joining pole back in that day. So the kid, sometime he'd hit the ball up, and you hear him say, I got it. They had 2 balls in their pocket. And when you know anything, see, he had the ball in his hand, but he don't know where that other ball don't fell out there. And you never would see it. And we used to get a good kick out of that. We really got a kick out of that. And we was the only one, we started that.
How did you get your nickname, Satchel?
I got my nickname through when I was a kid. I used to be down to the Mobile Bears baseball park, and I'd get all the foul balls and things and throw them back in, and the busted balls and broke bats, they'd give them to me. And when I'd come up to the school to play, I'd have all the tools to play with. And if they didn't let me play where I wanted to play, I'd take my things and go home, and started calling me Satchel. That's how I got that name.
When you went barnstorming, we know you had advance men and you sent out placards and all that. But after you got there and you wanted to increase the crowd, what did you do?
Well, the crowd was already there. We had our placards, and it would be in the papers, just like they do now in the big league. It was the same thing. And they had
parades at all?
Well, sometime that was back. We used to have a parade back. It was a thing like what you haul hay on, and we had a band on it, and the baseball players. That's just before the park.
What was that like? That must have been fun.
It was fun, and we'd be put on our uniforms, and we'd go all around through town with that band playing Dixieland and blah, 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 like that. And that would draw the people's attention for the night, and they had a big sign telling us where we were going to play, and I was going to pitch that night. And we used to have big crowds like that. And I had a hell of an all-star ball club, too. That's the next thing. Didn't nobody beat us. We could do anything we wanted to do. Because there were so many of us, just like I told you.
You make it sound like it was really fun days.
Oh, yeah, well, it was, but you had to know what you was doing now. I had to have something on that ball because I didn't know the people, a lot of them I was playing against, and I just felt like I could do it, and I did do it. I could pass them up with the fastball.
You could challenge any batter.
I could throw pretty hard, and that's like I told you. After I found out I could throw hard is when I got in the big league in 1948. I had don't quit playing baseball.
You're the oldest rookie
ever played baseball.
Now you won't tell us how old you were, but the official records say 42 in 1948. And
well, that's right. That's when I got in the league. Okay.
But a lot of people think that you're maybe a little bit longer in the tooth than that.
Well, they can't catch up with it. There's as many sport writers as you have in the United States. Now, I don't see. I laugh sometimes. I have to laugh. See, it's just like you here now. Okay, now you looking at me and you wondering how come somebody don't get my age or can't get my age, and I do too. Now, of all the sport writers, and we got some old sport writers left yet, And when I went to Cooperstown the other day, we had better than 2,000 or 3,000 of them up there, and they're all asking the same thing you asking about that age business.
Well, I don't.
And they're way older than you. They're way older than you, and they haven't got it yet, and they've been around it 15 or 20 years, and they ain't got it, and I'd expect for you to get it.
Well, let's take it off the top. You were 42 years old in 1948 when you played with the Cleveland Indians, and you're the oldest rookie ever, and you're also one of the best. Now, what happened that year?
Oh, that year? Oh, I had a little luck in there, then. I started off relieving, and I saved 8 games relieving.
And you won 6.
Yeah.
Lost 1.
That's right. But yeah, how I started in Chicago. There, we was up there.
One other statistic: your first 3 starts, you drew over 200,000 paid customers.
Well, now you telling me something. You see, that's what I tell you. We love baseball, and I was just pitching. I didn't want nothing like the kid doing now. How many I drew or something like that. I was just pitching out there.
Satch, after it's at least 50 years, probably more. A lot more since you started playing baseball. But now, when you think back on your career that's more than half a century, is there any one game that comes up to mind? Any top game?
Yeah, that was in Cleveland. That when they was debating on who was going to start for Cleveland, we was coming back down to Chicago and we had ran out of pitchers and they wanted to know who to start. And but we had when the same man I went up to Cooperstown for just now, Warren Spahn. He had come close to beating us in Boston. And they picked me because I wasn't even thinking about him because I hadn't started a game in 15 years. And when they asked me what I think about it and how far could I go, and Boudreaux asked me that, I told him I don't know. He said, you think you could go 5? I said, I goes 5 every day. He said, well, you think you could go 7? I said, I go 7 sometime. He said, well, hell, you can pitch 9. I said, well, I don't know that, but I said, I'm going at it. And I say the way I'm going at it, I might give away, but I say because I'm going at it for all I'm worth. He said, that's all I want to hear you say. He said, you pitching today, and that was one of my main ones right there. Then I had been relieving, and so they tossed it up and say, well, says I tell you what we do. Satchel ain't started in the last 20 years. He said we'll start Satchel with Bob Feller and Bob Lemons in the bullpen. And okay, that's the way they did it. They got to Chicago. Well, they put it out in Chicago. I was going to start. Man, you couldn't get in 8 blocks of that baseball park for people. The park was full and it was still in the street.
Black and white both.
Yes, sir. They didn't pay it no mind that time. It was all out there. It was rubbing elbows together trying to get in that stadium out there. But you couldn't get no more. And that's they never found out yet that how many people they had there. And so I started the game. And when I started, Bob Fillin and Bob Lemons, they went to the bullpen, and they're still down there yet. I finished that game. I shut Chicago out. Chicago come home, and I pitched again and shut them out again. And I went to Boston, and I went to Washington, and went to the 7th inning before they made a run up. I like to had 36 scoreless innings on the road that year.
In the major leagues in your 40s.
That's right. I was in my 40s. And when I shut that club out, you know, it's a wonderful thing to think about some of those things that you said, and that was my best one.
Well, what kind of racial abuse did you get when you were with Cleveland? Did people ever yell any nasty race stuff at you?
Well, 1 or 2 the baseball clubs did it, not the people in the fan. I heard got a couple of cracks from the baseball clubs. And
what did they say?
They said nigger, that's like that. Yeah, but I has to try to get my goat. I don't much blame them. I know it was all about it. There's some people I really know, too, that I wouldn't call their name for nothing in the world. Because they're too big a men, and they're still living, too, right now. And you know them, too. You know them well, too, and you wouldn't think they said it. But they're trying to say anything to get my goat to keep me from beating them. See, 'cause I didn't drop it one game there, you know. That first year I got in there. And that was kind of hard for a stranger to come in there and strike out the men like I was striking out in there, you know. Understand me? That's pretty rough to take. So they'd say anything. They didn't care what they say. For that kind of time, they could have got me roused up, you know, where I'd walk somebody had to come out. That's what they were trying to do.
Satchel, are you bitter about the fact that you didn't play in the major leagues at the time that you were at your peak?
Well, some parts. I won't say the majors. Where I was hurt the most at is when I went to Cleveland and won the thing for Cleveland, and they wouldn't pitch me. They wouldn't start me. Now, I was a little peeved there. Me and my wife was, too, because everybody in the whole world was, too, but they had never said anything about it. But they couldn't help from being, not when I had won the whole thing for them, and they pitched everybody on the ball club but me. And I was top man in baseball, period, that year. Top pitcher. And why they didn't pitch me, I don't know. But I had some ideas.
What's your idea?
Well, they had other pitchers there had been going good, and then I was colored too. And that went against me. And it was a World Series, and all the rest of the kids wanted to pitch in the World Series, whether they was good pitchers or not. And so that's how it was. I have a right to be bitter because after they found out I could play after I had stayed out of baseball 15 or 14 years. I was still cheated out of 15 or 16 years by turning me loose in baseball. I don't know whether it's because of my age or what it was, but I know they did turn me loose. But yeah, what I can tell you, I was pitching number 1 baseball. Because after that, when the A's got me to pitch against Boston, and Boston was the hittingest ball club in the league, wasn't but one ball hit out of the infield in four innings, and that was the world champion baseball hitting club that year. So I had to be good then when they put all left-handers on me too in the front for the first time. They was gonna clap me good if I hadn't had something on the ball. So I tell you, it's a long story about me was in that league there and how I got out and why they put me out. I don't know. There's some things that's wrong about me in the books, but it's not too much wrong. The most is wrong what to kick around a little bit, and you know that's my age for that concern.
Do you know what your age is?
Sure. But if I take it away now here what got it stirred up with you now. See, they had This Is Your Life, and that's the first time they knowed I was married, and they even had any kids from the whole time I was in baseball, if you want me to tell you the truth. They didn't know what was going on with me.
I meant to ask you a minute ago, what was really the difference between black baseball and white baseball? Did they play the game exactly the same? You played in the major leagues.
No, we played it very different. We played when you could get a run to get a run. They played for a lot of runs. And that's the reason they never did beat us when they was born starting. See, they would wait for a big inning, everybody hitting. But they didn't figure, to tell you the truth, they never did figure we could really play ball until Jackie Robinson went in. Then they found out we could play.
Was he a good choice for number one?
Yes, he was, because I'll tell you why, too. But it was who the big league wanted. See, they picked Jackie, and Jackie was on the bench with us. He was the Monarchs. Jackie was on the bench with the Monarchs when the big league.
He couldn't make the first team?
No sirree, bar. Now, you can get some letters from me if I'm wrong. Couldn't make the first club. They couldn't make the Monarchs.
Well, Newt Allen said that he couldn't make the shortstop because he couldn't make the long throw.
All right, what else could he make? Tell me this.
Second base.
Who he going to beat? He couldn't beat Newt Allen playing second. Newt Allen just told you that. It wasn't nowhere in the world for him to beat Newt Allen playing second. And he couldn't take Jesse Williams' place in shortstop. And he couldn't take Sewell's place on third. Let's face it. Couldn't take George Yard's place on first. Let's face it. If I'm telling you wrong, you get some letters. I get some letters for it. No, he's on the bench. And a lot of people hate to hear it, but that show you how great a ball club we had. And when you ask me, could we play in a club? Sure, we could play club. We had a lot of men good as Jackie wasn't playing on the bench. Now, way back in that day, see, I was a top man in America. When I say in America, I mean both clubs. That's white and colored for pitching. And they couldn't have used me because I had only played against all the all-star clubs in Los Angeles, and they couldn't have booted me around like they did Jackie, with those things. 'Cause I don't know if I could have took that or not. I can tell you now, I wouldn't have took it because I'd have felt like I was bigger than that. I didn't have to take that, to stay up there. But see, he did it and made the record, and I don't know, before Jackie died, he looked like he was my grandpa, so that he got it going all right enough, nice, but it made him suffer a lot. He never did get over it.
How many no-hit games do you figure you were?
I wish I could think about them, think how many it was, because I know I pitched quite a few. But it's just like I told you, I wasn't a man that never thought about the baseball I was playing. I just likes to play. And sometimes, hell, you'd ask me what the score was 20 minutes after I pitched. I know I had done one, but I know it was 2-1 or 1-0 for that concern, because I was through with it for the next day.
How good were the Negro leagues compared to the major leagues?
Tops. They was tops. We could take any club that we had in our league and play any one of the major leagues.
Any club in the Negro leagues could play any club?
Any club.
The worst in the Negro leagues could play the best in the major leagues?
Yes, sir. We had a lot of colored baseball players. Now I'm going to show you, give you a little incident on this. All right, you're letting us in with baseball. You're letting us in with baseball. You let us in with basketball. You let us in with football. So we had a lot of them. And don't you let nobody fool you. We had a lot of baseball players, top men. I wasn't only Satchel back there. We had a lot of Satchels, but I just lasted longer than the rest of them. We had a lot of Satchel Paiges back there. We had a lot of hell of a nice ball club. The Homestead Grays and Pittsburgh Crawfords, Birmingham, those clubs, the Yankees would have had hell beating them if you want me to tell you the truth. Just dry along, don't add nothing with them. Just take the club. And you can see now the Apple Leagues we have some tough ones. We have a lot of them, top superstars.
Do the black players in the major leagues today owe anything to you and the other players in the Negro leagues?
Well, I don't know if they would go at it like that, but they should. They should think about it, but I don't know whether they got them up so tight in the American League or the National League. When they get up, they never do say how they come up in baseball and who was their manager. I've never heard that yet. I was the only one to ever say that for that concern. But I come up to make it pretty nice for the colored race in baseball. Because when I come in, they wasn't playing in no white parks at all when I come in. And I was the cause of them playing in all white parks, and I was the cause of them barnstorming up until, like they got up to it now, and getting better salaries and everything. And I'm talking about me, myself, because I had been out there pitching top baseball. I can't tell you how I pitched it and why I pitched it for a long time out there. And I got where they... I had to take care of the whole league out there, let alone one club. I had to go here and pitch there and pitch, and I did that for 10 or 15 years in baseball out there.
You pitched doubleheaders?
Yeah, I pitched doubleheaders, and I pitched in high as 3 games. We had twilight games, too. We had a morning game, and an evening game, and a night game, and I pitched in all of them. I pitched in high as 164 ball games in a row. So I don't know whether they think they owe me anything or not, but from the way I'm telling you, you can figure that out for yourself.